If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Okay, did you get a chance to work on practice things? You practiced EIB inbound and outbound yesterday.
I practiced EIB inbound,
Okay.
and I went through the security stuff that you taught me.
Okay.
And I revised on the calc fields, whatever I know and whatever you have taught me.
Okay.
And, say, suppose like out of 34, I at least know how to do 25 of them. The rest of them, I don't have like a very clear idea. So I practiced in that. So I practiced in the tenant so that I'll get to know the flow, like where to go, why
screens, yeah.
Yes, and the screens and stuff like that. So I worked on those yesterday and today.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll complete the calculate functions. I do remember it. I'll complete it. Okay. So see, it's not every function like you have to know all the functions. I'll complete it. But Neela, I'll complete this as well. So if we are still tagging there and we'll not be able to complete this, right? I don't know. I have just make a note of that as well. I'll give you risk scenarios with respect to that as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I just missed one thing with respect to EIB yesterday. Okay. I just remembered I forgot to say this point yesterday. Okay. See, with respect to co-connectors, right? We have the service config sequence generator, so we did it. Okay. But what with respect to EIB? We didn't have that service, right? Where is the integration?
Yeah, even I wanted to ask you that because
I missed it yesterday. Yeah, I do remember whatever I miss, I'm trying to cover up everything. So don't worry, okay? Even if I missed it, I'll remember. No, I'm saying like if you missed it also, you can even verify it with me. But I'm also making sure I'm covering some no, I don't miss anything for you. Okay. See, whatever knowledge I know, whatever options is there, I'm just trying to transfer to you. Okay.
Yeah. I totally understand. It's like enormous amount of data, and you're trying to communicate it to me in a short period of time. I understand that it will happen, but if in case when I'm doing it, say suppose like in my past interviews, if they've asked me particular questions or something like that, if I have it, I'll ask you and I'll get it clarified.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this analyst report is fine now, right? You tested, you had a look into it. Hello.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay.
Yeah, I did test it, so I didn't find any negative numbers. So which means we are good.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. And see, we don't have the services, right? We don't have integration service to configure the sequence generator. We don't have it. We don't have an option of configuring. I'll talk about this integration notification also. Okay. I'll talk about this as well. As you know, events, if you run the integration, what all events we see, we will see it here. Like, no, what all integrations, any fail, we will see it here, right? And to see any errors also, we can see it here. In the event, we will find it out. Is a thing you noted, so that's why I didn't take it yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we configure the sequence generator for EIBs, right? So we have a task called create ID.
Do we have an option to do this? Say suppose generating the report every week or something like that in the report. No, right?
What is that? What is that?
We also run the report every week. Can we set the report to that particular service? Do we have that option in report?
No, we can schedule the report and we can share the report output whoever is there in the tenant. I'll tell about the report scheduling. Okay, maybe I missed that. I'll talk about report scheduling after completing this. Okay. I'll go to the each tab and show you. See, we can schedule, for example, my HR manager is there, let's say employee is there, HR, I want to share the report output to manager who is there in Workday. Yes, we can share it and goes into the employee manager inbox of Workday, but not to an SFTP server.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell about that. Okay. Give me after I'll complete this one, I'll go there and tell you. Okay. See, as you know, you can give sequence number, sequence name. What is I'll take that as INT 001. Shushma, you can have a look at it. It's a simple normal thing, but how do you add it? I'll tell it. Sequence generator. So how do you define base? How you do it in sequence? Like in integration services, in Coconut, same way you do it.
Okay.
But the adding will be something we have to add it in a different way. It is 001. I just want to have the sequence of it. SEQ. Sorry. Underscore Y. I'm just going to have only here. Okay. So this is set. My sequence generator is ready now. Okay. Increment. Okay. Increment by 1. So my sequence generator name is this. So you can get the thing also, the sample value. So go to your integration, EIB integration. Okay. And so if you schedule it, I'll cover the scheduling also here. Integration or in launcher schedule. Okay. I'm going to let me schedule and show you. Okay. I'm going to have daily recurrence. So it covers integration scheduling also. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to schedule it. So in the file name, right? So you choose determine value runtime and you choose next sequence. Okay. Where you add a sequence generator, I missed that. 1 minute. I missed that to tell you. We saw it in here, right?
Yeah.
Edit. So we have sequence generator for file name, right? You have to put your this one.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
You have to add it here. And then once you add it here, you have to, this is done. So in order to call a sequence generator there, when you launch it or schedule it, what you do is like, after adding it there, you're going to schedule it now. And then here you should use determine value at runtime and then put next sequence so that it calls the sequence generator next sequence for integration file utility. So this field will call the particular sequence generator which you configure in EIB so that will be called. Okay, I want like what is the document retention policy you want to specify, you can specify it here, specify value as 180 days or how many days you want it. Okay, schedule. So here comes a schedule. You want to have only weekdays, then you can schedule every weekdays. Okay, you want to schedule like for example 2 days, every 2 days, every 3 days, or you want to every day, every days, even weekends you want to schedule, you can specify it as 1. Okay. So what is the start time when this integration should start? I want to do its time is I don't know which timing. Okay, timing also we can take. My timing now is 9:15. Okay, I'll make it to trigger at. I have even 1 minute now, so I'll make it to IST. It's Kolkata. So I'm going to trigger my integration. So every day, I'll make it India. Okay. So every day 9:50 this time zone, in this time zone it will start. So if I make it now today, so your start date should be after, it may be either today or tomorrow on date. Now it may show some error because it's 9:15 now. Okay, let me see if it throws error or not. Because see, the start date and start time must be in future. Okay, we'll make it to 9:20 then. PM. Or else I'll make it to 9:20 PM. Pick it like this. Okay, after 5 PM, right? I have to choose day. Otherwise, I'm done tomorrow morning. So 9:20 PM, it will trigger every day.
Okay.
Okay. So this is how we schedule the integration.
Previous step, in the provider, you have given documentation retention policy for 180 days. So whatever the document that we generate will retain for 180 days, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
This is a document retention policy. Every integration will have a document retention policy.
Yes.
Okay. So now I completed. I think I'm just now I feel like AIB is completed now. And one thing is like add your ISUs. If you have an ISU, you can add it to here.
I also have this one question. So we have, I mean, in the process of integration, when the integration runs, we get that alpha A, B steps, right? So the step B is fire integration.
That I'll tell you. I'll talk about that. See, here like business process. For example, you want to call a DT. Right now, there is only it's a accessory transformation. You are going to have a DT. For creating a DT, we have a task called create integration attachment service. I'll tell you. Once a DT is ready, okay.
Okay.
Maybe I'll complete co-connector and come to this topic about that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll come to the topic. See, if you're going to have, then if you know about how to create a DT, then I'll come here and show you EIB plus DT again. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So up to EIB plus XSLT transformation, you're clear, right? EIB
yes,
with custom report transformation, EIB with custom transformation. Both you're clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
EIB you're clear. So everything is now, see, the file name will be like this. See, now it is sequence generator is configured now. So when you generate, the file name will be like this. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So I think I covered everything with respect to EIB. So now let me go to the co-connector, which we stopped yesterday. I'll start from there. Okay. So this is the co-connector we created yesterday.
Yes.
So we saw one thing I missed out. Okay, I'll cover it here. Okay. So we saw integration attributes yesterday. We saw integration services yesterday, right?
Yes.
And also we saw sequence generator. So today we'll see about integration attributes, overrides, maps, notifications. Okay, and transaction log service also will enable and see it. Okay. Okay. So we will configure now is integration. We want to know what are the fields to be included in our output file. Okay.
Yes.
So before we wanted to enable that, it went off. Okay. See, we enabled only these sections. I didn't enable few sections. Whichever enabled in the services, those section will be available here.
Yes.
Okay. I missed a few sections. I'll show that. Okay. You see personal, status, position, contract data, leave of absence. We still have 2 more sections. I didn't enable that. For example, if you want to have personal information data, then you should enable this personal data section. Okay. So you can enable, you want all the fields in this output file, you can enable here or include all input file. Okay. For example, you want to have only like the employee ID will be mandatory coming. You will not enable employee ID. By default, employee ID will be there by co-connectors. Okay, in your output files. See, people will ask, no, we didn't enable employee ID, how it came. Co-connector by default brings the employee ID. Okay.
Okay.
And then say I want to have full legal name and I want to have gender, birth date, and marital status. And I'm going to have ethnicity, whatever, like you want to have military service dates or you want to have ethnicity, whatever you wanted to have, you wanted to make it. See, if you want to make them as required field also, you can make it. Certain fields you want to make them required, you can make it as required. And whichever field you enable, you want to make them as required, you can make them as a required field. Okay.
Okay.
The length also you can define. My full length should be 50 or 45. You can maximum length also you can define it. Maximum length is not fixed with maximum length. It can have it. Okay. So next come to the status section. So under status is like what are the staffing status of the employee? Or he is active or not? What is the employee status? He is on leave, he is active or he is terminated. Those kind of status will be coming here. Okay, employee status, current status of the worker. So each state, when this event happened, effective of the staffing event, or like no, when you hire, what is a hire reason, what is a hire date. So all these sections will be enabling here. You not have to create a, don't have to create a cal field. When we create a cal field, see whichever expecting, for example, as you said, initials, right? There are some, you said some fields, right? And you are going through some Workday certification documents, right? There are some initials,
Yes.
but you go and see in personal data, is it available? Just check. Okay,
It is not available, yeah.
not there. Okay, where will I go and add it? Then you have to add in the field. You're overriding the service. You're overriding the field attribute service. That is field override service. Okay. On top of it, you're going to add few more fields. Okay.
Okay.
So from this section, I don't know if you don't enable also, it's fine. You enable service, but you're not using the any field also, it's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Now this is all fields I expect in my output file. Click OK. Okay.
Okay.
So done. So this field attribute service is done. So I have all my required fields in my output, but I want initials, which is not there in my services. Okay. Field attribute service, field attributes. Okay. See, I said I didn't enable few services from the section. I didn't enable the related persons services and all. So it is not coming in the field attributes. Only whichever I enabled it. See, I enabled person. This is field attribute. Sorry, services is here. Sorry, I didn't enable everything. Okay. No, I didn't enable few things. It is showing only whichever we enabled it.
The last two says no.
Yeah, you remember, right? I didn't enable it, so it wasn't shows here. Fine, you
Yeah.
observed that. Okay, fine. So now we will do is like field overrides. What is this? Before we create the field overrides, it's a custom field overrides, right? So what we have to do is like we have to go to actions, integration system, go to services, and first create the service first. Okay. It's a custom integration service. Okay, you have to click here, go here, create integration field overrides. You have to create the service first. Okay. Now we have to place like I want to name it as additional details or anything, whatever you want to name it, you can make it additional details. See, we have this business object. You want to take it from worker or you want to take it from job posting. These are the business objects available. From this business object you want to take. You want to take it from worker or employee. As it will be initials of worker, right? You can choose worker. You want any details of job posting, you can choose that particular business object. Okay. You can choose it from here. And I want initials. You will just initiate it. Just give a name to it. Okay. You want to give any description to it, you can give it here. Okay. Let me add one more thing as like, no, what was the other field was there?
Workday ID.
Workday ID, right?
Yeah, and username was that.
You want the username also. Okay, let me add it here. So which is not there in the field attributes. So you are using this one. Okay. Now what you do is like go to actions. Okay, let me click OK. First you have to create the field override service. After creating it, go to actions. Configure integration field overrides. So the service first to be created, then only you can you see here two tabs? You have only eligibility, but if you see, I have one more tab which I defined it and the fields are coming here. Okay. So we have to define it. My eligibility is mandatory to run any co-connectors. See, for example, your integration should contain only hire employees. Then you can hire even you can specify even true or false. This should be a Boolean field. Okay. It should be a Boolean field. If you see, you can see all the Boolean fields will be popping up here. Okay. Any is true means like all the employee, whichever transaction with respect to is coming to with respect co-connect as worker change, right? Any change with respect to worker, it will be picking it up. Okay. Any is true or is true, you can make it. You can read the description. Returns Boolean value true. It also like returns Boolean. Both are same. Okay, almost. It's true. I'll make it and click. Now I'll go to the next thing. Tab as additional details. So initials. We have a field called initials. Okay. We have a field called Workday ID. You can even add calculated fields also. Okay. You can even add calculated fields also. reserve we added.
Okay.
Got it? Fine.
Yeah.
So next we will talk about the next service. So you understood field attribute service, field attributes and field overrides is done. Okay. We'll talk about maps. So maps is nothing but simple actually. See, for example, we configure gender. See, some clients expects full gender name, some don't expect it, right? So in that case, we'll go for integration maps. Marital status, like no, for marital status, we wanted like no, marital married means I'm single means yes, not declared means NA, something they have it, right? So internal and external value. For this value, what should be there? For this value, what should we want to display it? You can map it. Mapping of values is integration maps.
Okay.
It's taking few minutes. Okay. See, in attributes we saw name type, right? Okay. So if you see here, if you go and click plus, okay. See, we have all these work. If these names are there, how we should track it, how we want to map it, we can have it. Okay. So I will change now to, I want to have, my gender is not coming. Here reason, did we configure it? We have 22 items, we have to scroll down. Can you see gender here? Yeah, it's here. Here. So if you clear what all gender is maintained in work, in this channel, will come up here. So female means I want, you have to, it should be from drop down, okay? One more.
Yeah.
Male means M. And not declare means I want it to be NA. Okay. See, we have a lot of things we want to maintain, even the religion we want to make it. You can maintain it. This so many with respect to countries, we have so many. If you're going to maintain it, you can maintain it. Okay.
Okay.
So we have ethnicity, we have citizenship status, we have military statuses. So many are there. As per the requirement, we can make the maps. Okay, just give you an idea of what.
We configure the host ID and the home ID.
Host ID and home ID. International assignments you're saying. If you go for any international assignments, if you have home ID, host ID, home ID, it's a custom, it's a calculated field. We'll have home host and home ID. In that case, we specify it as if what is the host, we'll create a calc field and add in the field overrides.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't understand some organization have like no, when they're in the home country, they'll have to use home ID. When they get international assignment, they get the host IDs, right? So you want to get anything, if they are maintained it, obviously you can have it in calculated fields. How way they are maintained, that is also it's maintained. That is also important. If they maintain as other IDs, then you can do a calc field on other ID business object and you can bring it out. Cal fields. Okay. So see, to build any cal field also, we should know where it has been maintained. See, I may maintain under personal IDs. Fine. One more section called custom IDs or other IDs we can maintain. So we should know how they are maintaining it. Okay. That is also more important to create a calculated fields. Okay. You clear up to here, right? Integration maps. So next we'll go about role is met now. This I think we are listed with. For example, what is this integration notification is something like. So when integration is getting, always we do. Every organization will have once it went live, we'll have a support team, right?
Yeah.
So if something is getting failed, it has to be notified to them, right? How do we create? How do you notify them? These integration notifications. So we'll trigger on status, either completed or you want to know completed with errors, completed with warnings, failed. So we don't go for mostly initiate in real time. If it is aborted, so if it is queued, so we want to know, basically we use this for status, okay? As per the requirement, we can use other status as well. So if it is getting, any of the status has happened, it has to notify the recipients. We have groups, right? If you have any support group, we can add the email address, support group email address, we'll add it here. Okay. So if in real time, you can give your own address and you can check it here. You can do a testing and you can check whether it's coming to your email or not. Okay. Or you want to send it to integration administrator, or you want to go for any of the security groups, you can specify the security groups as well. Okay. I'll talk about the segment based. I have a PPT based on segment based.
Okay.
With respect to security, segment based security, I thought of I'll take it in the end, but I have a PPT for it. Okay. I felt yesterday like I was going through some topics, so I felt it will be helpful for you to know it. Okay. I gives you how to create and all those stuffs. I'll show you like maybe last 5 or 10 minutes I'll take. Okay.
Okay.
The segment based security group is, and you can add your recipients emails. See, this will be your message subject of your notification. Have you created alerts?
There is
Any alerts? Are you aware of what is alert is? Report alerts. Sushma, are you there in the call?
There's a lot of disturbance going on.
Hello, Sushma, can you hear me?
Yeah, like partially. Hello? Hello? Your voice is very, it's not very clear.
Now, can you hear me? Yeah, I think I have a little bit of straining my voice. I know.
Okay, now it's better. Yeah. Okay. No, it's a network issue, I guess. It's not the voice. So
okay,
it
fine.
was a bit.
Okay, fine. So I have a PPT on it. I'll talk about it as the last 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
On the segment-based security group. It'll be helpful.
And I don't know about the alerts. I have to
Yeah, I'll take about it. Yeah. So what will I complete today is I'll complete the Core Connector completely fully. Okay. And I'll also take like the segment-based security group and alerts, and I'll give you a brief description of Studio today. Okay. Tomorrow I'll start with inbound, and on day after tomorrow I'll start with I'll complete one outbound. Okay. That is what I have planned.
How about PT?
Yeah, I also have that's what I'll complete today. I have a PPT for it to answer for a with respect to interview. Okay. I'll be talking about that as well. I made it ready to show you everything today. So I want make sure like I'll complete that today, and from tomorrow we'll start studio. Tomorrow and Saturday we'll complete studio. Okay.
No issues. We have time till Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday I'll ask you a few interview questions. We'll have a mock interview on Sunday.
Okay, done. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I have planned. So let's see how it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
So this will be the subject of the content, subject of the year. You see, if anyone is getting notified, we'll have a subject. What subject? See, this notification is similar to an email. Okay. So this is notification which is similar to an email. So any email will have a see. If you think of it, you should have an email address to send to a person, right? So it has either address or the groups or the recipient. Okay. And every email should have a subject, right? So we have we should have a subject. What is this text and external field? Text is static text.
Okay.
What is you want to add? For example, you want to get the status, integration status. Okay, I did wrongly. Okay, static text. You want to have like integration name as a tag. Integration status. Okay. And then I want to in the subject I want to add the status. You want to have a Workday delivered field called integration status. Then you have to click on external field. Okay.
Okay.
Any dynamic field or any cal field or any Workday delivered field you want to use, you have to click on external field. Okay. It's a Workday delivered field. Okay, this will give the integration Workday debut. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. And this will be the subject. Okay. And if you wanted to on the body, same way you want to on the body, what you have to say. This integration name has failed due to this, that, this, you can have it.
Okay.
Got it? Clear? Any doubts with respect to notifications? Okay.
No.
I don't have any email address. Maybe I'll give something and create and show for you. I'll make it as integration administrators. And I'll add this. Yes. Click OK.
I have a group that I've created. You can use that if you want.
Yes, of course. Yep, tell me.
It says Sush, SUSH.
One?
No, not this.
It's a role-based security group.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I created it for the integration itself.
ISU user, integration system security group. You can add only. You can add a user-based security group here, either segment-based or user-based security groups. If you see here, all are user-based security groups. Okay, you can add only user-based security groups, and you can add either user-based or a segment-based security group only. Okay.
Okay.
See, all are user-based.
Yes.
Got it. Otherwise, you should add your basically either we'll have support email address. So every support team will have a support email address, right? So you can add them here so that all the people in the support team members will get it here. Okay. Okay, this is done. And next, coming to the next part. Next is services. I think we have covered all the services, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we also saw about integration launching, integration scheduling it. So I'll run it. I'll talk about the prom dates. Okay. I think you may be aware of this. It runs on either last successful, so effective date versus last successful effective date, and as of entry moment to last successful entry moment. Okay. Yes. Yeah. And also we can run it as a full file. You can add it as a full file. If you want any full file, we'll run this. Check this checkbox. If you choose full file, it doesn't consider the dates over here. Okay. It doesn't consider the dates. It just like run the full file and gives you. Okay. If you want to run for any specific workers, you are doing some testing and you want to run only for one particular, you have made change for one particular employee. I'll change. We'll take one and do some transaction and come here. Okay. We'll change the gender. We'll change the gender of this employee. It's again a personal information change, right?
Yes.
So I'll make it to male. It's already in progress. I will cancel this. Okay. Somebody's already tried to change it, so that's why it's in progress.
Okay. It went in the very beginning.
Yeah. Okay. The comments we have to press the throw error. Okay. The employee, personal, edit, and then I'm going to give mail. Okay. We'll go for approval. We'll approve it. So what will I do is like this has to be approved by HR partner. So when you're doing some testing, go to process and you'll see who has to awaiting action waits. So any one person can approve it. So I'll
Yes.
either Logan Maker can also do it. Otherwise, you can go here. Security profile. Dot proxy. So go to the inbox. So we have changed Logan Maker personal information. Approved. Now this process successfully completed. I'll stop proxy it. Okay. Okay. Next, we will go to our integration. Okay. See, I'll go to the transaction first. Logan. Worker history. See, if you see here, there is here the effective date is empty here. Okay. So the effective is empty. So we'll consider the initiate date. That is a successful moment. Okay. So this has happened on 5/10, but this hard transaction has happened on 9/10/2020. Okay. Today is 8, right? Maybe. Why it doesn't have any effective date? Not showing effective date. Why? We cancel this and it is the one which has happened now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they are not maintaining it the effective date, but let's try with change date, like no the completed dates. Okay, as successful like no the last completed moment is there. We'll try to run with that.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll do different transaction which is based on effective dates. We'll try with that. See, this timing also matters. Okay, so we gave it like no maybe 5 to 10 minutes before. Let's period the transaction. If you try to run it, it may not pick up because of the timing also. Okay, let's take from 4 o'clock. Okay. What is the timing as of now over there? I don't know which time zone this tenant runs up. Okay, let me take one day before. Let me take 8th. Okay, of mismatch of time zones. I think today is 8 in your calendar. Today is 9 or 8. 8, right? 8 morning. Yeah. Let me take 8:12 a.m. so that it is neither your time nor my time. And also take it today. It will be 8. Effective date will be 8. Okay. And my last 6 line moment also will be 8/10/2020 from 12 p.m. I'll take both 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. So entry moment. Okay. Okay. And my last successful effective date would be 7. I'll take. And it shows 9, right? I'll take up to 10. It will throw error, I think. Okay. Okay. Yes, I know. Could not be found. It is something. So okay, we start proxy and came back, right? It's asking to refresh the page.
Okay. Is it because you selected 1010?
No. See, we proxied as some person and we came back, right? So that page has been lost. That is why it is doing. It's not with dates.
Okay.
Okay, let's take here.
So when I give full file, it will ignore the dates and it will give me all the transactions.
All the
Right?
transactions for all the employees.
Yes. When I give the dates, it will give me transactions happened within that particular
Yes.
period of time that they
Effective
gave
dates or
it.
success entry moment. Both. Either it's entry moment or the effective dates.
So it will only give me the top of the stack data, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Any co-connectors gives only top of stack values.
Yes.
When I come to Peachy, I'll tell you about the difference between Peachy and Pickoff. I'll tell you both difference. They'll ask what is the difference between Peachy and Pickoff. I'll tell you how to answer for those questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Even the EIB outbounds, right? It will only give me the top of the stack data.
EIB outbound will give you full file. We are not taking, it'll give you full file. EIB outbound plus XSLT is a full file. Okay.
Okay.
If you
So,
use business, if you use business
yeah,
process
yesterday,
transaction, okay, yeah.
yesterday we were you
That's what I'm
showed me
trying
a
to say.
scenario.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Business process transaction index, that data source, and if you are going to use the prompt values, then that will give you the change files. Okay. Only if you use that particular this data source. But if you use all active and terminate workers, it will be only full file.
Okay, so only with the indexed workers it's different.
It's not index, it's business process transaction. That is a data source maintenance. If you use
Okay.
business process transaction indexed also, you will not have effective data all the prompts. In business process transaction index data source will have only business process as a prompt. Only in business process transaction standard data source type will have all these prompts.
Okay.
Just try it and you will understand it. Just visualize it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll
Okay.
do it.
Yeah. And give 8, 10, 20, 20. Okay, I just want to run for one employee. We may change one. We know we may change for Logan, right? So for testing purpose, we use specifically one employee and check like whether changes happened or not.
Mm-hmm.
I missed one service, but you didn't ask me.
Transaction log services.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you will tell me after this.
Yeah, I want to show the timing difference. I'll enable it and I'll show you how long this took, how long that took. Okay.
Okay.
See, we get the file as XML file. We gave CSV in the sequence filter. We gave CSV, right? It gave us a CSV file. But the output type in attributes we gave XML, right? You remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why it is inside is XML. What will I do is like first I'll share you the XML file, then we will try to do some transformation. Okay.
Okay.
Um, you know how to relaunch integration event, right? I
Yeah.
launched this integration event. How do you relaunch this integration event?
So I can go to the integration system from here only. I can launch.
No, you can go to this integration event. Okay, already launched event. Okay, see
Okay.
there's some. I want to instead of one. I want instead of like no using the same
Okay.
launch parameter I want to use. Okay, I don't want to change it. So you can use integration event, relaunch integration event. So this you can relaunch the same event again. And I'll create one more event. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll open a new tab and I'll change the sequence generator. Okay, let's go. I'll show this. That is just not a big difference. Okay, it's going to be an XML file. But
Yeah.
see when we do testing, right? How do we actually is like how do we know it has which employee is being picked up, which employee is not being picked up? How will you know that first? Okay, I'll tell you. Where is our output files? Okay, integration event. We are the output files. These are here. See this diagnostic audit file will help you. We have also data change audit file will be there. We didn't enable that service. See, employees picked up. Okay, no relevant change in worker information were detected, so that worker has been not been included in the output document. There's some this employee this says is no employee workers information is being tracked or were detected, but this employee being picked up in the file because we specified as worker, right? This particular worker. Let's check this audit file. Let me check this audit file, what it is there.
I think, if the tenant runs on Pacific time, it's not 12 p.m. yet there.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I think I also felt like this effective date is not being considered here. This effective date is also not there. And it's, see, you have also considered this. See, it's 5:10. Whatever it could be, it is West week or whatever. The time is 5:10, 12 a.m. on 9th. It is initiated on, it says 9/10/2020. Okay.
Yes.
So we can take this timing and we can take like plus of 15 minutes prior to that and after. Okay. Let's try that. I gave both 12 a.m. Okay. I might have given 12 p.m. So from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. it might be picking up, right? I gave both at 12.
But the timing was somewhere around 5 a.m., right?
Anyway, it is anyway. We are considering not even like no from this time to this time. Whatever happens will pick up.
Okay.
See, it's not only that particular timing. We have to exactly. We don't know the specific from this timing to that timing. Whatever changes has happened, it may pick up, right?
Okay.
Let's check. Let's check. So we have two files: diagnostic audit file, data change audit file.
Okay.
See, we were talking about this. See, the timing issues. That's it. I gave 12 a.m. Right, 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. Nothing might be happened. Okay.
Oh.
See, we talk when we configure the attribute, right?
Mm-hmm.
We saw this, right? Prior value. Remember?
Yeah.
It was changed from female to male.
Yes.
Got it? So under personal section, we enable these fields. These fields are coming here and eligibility criteria is too. So this data change audit will help you to track what was the prior and what has changed from this to this. So this is a good file. Like when you do testing, we want to analyze your why this has been not picked up. We go and check this file, data change audit file. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a really a good it will be helpful when you're doing analysis why this employee is not picked up, is is prior value is being tracked or not. So you can check like that. Okay.
Yes.
I'll also talk about this. This also will give you what our employees are being picked up. Changes, previously we changed, no relevant changes were tracked, but here you see changes were deducted in worker information and worker is eligible for inclusion in the output. So which means like some has been detected. It tells you like, okay.
Yes.
Fine. Cool. So I'll just change the output file sequence generator to XML and see the XML also how it looks. Okay.
Okay.
See, they ask you how this launch parameters works. Just same like it look for the worker history. It looks for either effective date or last successful entry month, which is the initiated date. Okay.
Okay.
Or effective date, or it goes for last successful completed moment.
Okay.
See, this memorizes launch parameters. They'll ask what are the launch parameters are there in Coca-Cola. They'll ask. Okay, it is as of entry moment, effective date, last successful as of entry moment, last successful effective date. Okay, you can read it here. This fourth one, as of entry moment, effective date, last successful effective date, and last. What is this last? What is meant by this? No, see, this integration now ran. Okay. Ferran, once again, let's see what is this values we will see. Okay. Just
this previous value it will pick
this
up.
will come down, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You know that, right? So that is what it says. Like, just remember this launch parameter. So the everyday changes will be people are edited between these times only will be picked up in the output files. Okay, that is what the concept of change file concept here. Since we included, I just want to show the XML file, how this prior value is also included in the XML file since we enable this prior value, right? I just want to show that, and I'll start with document transformation, how to create a document transformation and attach to the business process of this integration. Okay. Okay, cool. Here is the narrative, and I'll go here and I'll go from there. Clear with respect to co-connectors, how it's been working and all those stuffs. I'm beginning with transaction log service, business process, and how to add document transmission to the co-connector. I think I'll complete it. Okay. We still have half an hour. Okay. See, why transaction log service is not coming here? Any clue?
We didn't enable it.
Yes, so I'll enable it. So worker transaction log service. Now I get it, your transaction log. See, you wanted to subscribe, for example, you want to subscribe to, you have to go over default values. Okay. So you want to specific transaction types, for example, personal information. Spelling is wrong. So you can change either personal information, change event. You can choose this. So that it tracks only personal information. It doesn't track any other things. It's a radio, but anyone really can be chosen. Okay. So subscribe to all business process. If you want to choose, you can choose this. Subscribe to all business process except you want to exclude, you can use this. All transaction types or subscribe to all transaction types. You want to exclude, you can exclude it here. Okay. So this will improve the see when you add a filter, right? In filter also how this filter works. The filter works in the order as well. Okay. Let's say you're adding active in the beginning and you're adding the country in the end. So what report how the filter works? It will first filter the active employees and then it filter for the location. But it could be better, right? If you add the location in the top and then work for active. So you look for the country. So it depends upon how we order them also, it matters. Okay. So the other way I can say is I want to filter for higher dates from this state and then I'm saying as active. Instead of having this, I'll take active status in the beginning and then I'll filter for higher dates. Right? Okay. Because it doesn't go for the all terminated workers also to look for it. It directly go for active workers. What is higher dates? So it improves, right? So similar way, when you add if you add the performance, it will if you have transaction logs, instead of looking for everything, it look for particular things. Okay, that is main concept here. Yes. Okay, so they'll ask the interviews how we can improve the performance of the co-currenters. You can see we can try to have transaction logs wherever we are able to do it. Okay, we can consider it. Okay, and then but it's not a mandatory service. Okay. And then see, we already had transaction log service before the running this integration, but it was even picking it up, right? It's not a mandatory service. To increase the performance, we add it. And then I'll hit the sequence generator and I'll put XML file and I'll show you. So again, I want to relaunch the same event. So what will I go is I'll go to here, integration events. Okay. I'll go to this event. I will relaunch it from here also. Okay. Yes. error. Data changes. Zero output worker for zero output document for zero workers. Okay. What is the launch parameter? Okay. You know why it was not picking it up? It's same timing, right? Again, it says encountered errors. Let me launch it. For login make this timing to this timing. The same timing is there, right? But how we gave it? Why it is giving error? Previously we got it. But let's see here, the employee is being picked up or not. But the output file is there. But let's see, it will be empty, I think. Yes.
It is nothing. No, we only added the
transaction. We just add the transaction logs. But let's see. But we'll see. Remove the transaction logs and check.
Yeah. Should you take it as all?
Yeah, I took all only. I took all transaction types only. I took. But I'll remove that service and check.
Yeah.
Parent event. Will the output file will contain? It still throws the same error.
Yeah.
It says must be less than or equal to current moment. Get worker operation service failed. This may be to inprepared or insufficient previous input user account configured for the integration. But if it came before it, why it is doing error now?
Maybe somebody else is also using the tenant. Change and check it or something.
Might be.
It says get worker operation failed.
You have added this. Okay. This IUC you created. You have added the IUC to this. You didn't add any IUC, right?
No, I didn't add it to your integration.
Web operation failure. We didn't add it, right? It could be. It should not be the problem. Okay.
Should we try like removing the service also from the integration configuration service?
When we removed it override rights. Okay. You want me to try that also? I'll try it once.
Just to like check. I don't know.
It could not be. See, we didn't make it override, right?
Yeah.
It should not be the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check that. Okay, I'll check that why it was throwing error in offline. It should not be. Actually, it came up right. I think
Yeah,
somebody is on. Let me launch it. Yeah, I will launch it fresh else. Okay, instead of launching it or relaunching it again, I'll launch it fresh. So I will make it from. Okay, this was the launch parameters. So it is from 12 a.m. It should be 12 a.m. till we make it as 12, or is it make 6 at least? 6
Yeah.
p.m. Okay, I'll make it for Logan. I think because of the service.
Yeah.
See, can you see here prior value?
Yeah.
Okay, so this, see, for these things we didn't have any changes, but we also did you notice we also added few fields which is not picking up here, right?
Yeah.
So whichever field have impact, see, can you see this field overrides additional
Yes, I can.
information? So whatever tags you whatever game you or whatever name you're giving to the field overrides, it will be added like that. Okay, here that is what the field overrides is. Got it?
Yeah.
So in the example, I want to show like no how this prior value comes up. If there's any change, you will like know what was its previous value and what has been moved. So you'll get that as well. Okay, got it. So we're getting the XML file. Fine. Any questions here? So for example, you wanted it's an XML file, but you wanted a transformation. For example, as we did yesterday, right? You want to do some transformation. You can do it. I will show. I'll show some of the few. I'll show some of the few XTT functions which is there in my studio document. I want to show a few because you want to know what's the difference, right, between XSLT functions and XTT functions. Not this one. Let's all. This is one of the integration which I built a long time back. I'll talk about this later tomorrow. We'll see about it. Okay. So I'll just explain the entire flow tomorrow. Okay. So it's a real-time example which I did. I'll explain you. Okay. Oh, if you use these functions, see, can you see? See, for left alignment, right padding, and all, we in XSLT functions, we have to write a lot of codings like call a function X, this, that, this, and all. Okay. In XTT functions, if you're defining any XTT functions, you have to define this one at the top. XTT is equal this function, you have to define it. Okay. This function you have to define it, and then see, for format we have this XTT functions. Okay. For increment number we have this functions. For increment separator we have, see, for example, yesterday for new line, right, we were typing some codings, we are doing some this kind of characters, right, for new line. But it's not this way here. It's like if there is separator, we have to define a variable and then call it in the bottom, and everywhere you have to do assign to a variable and do that. But we have predefined functions called XTT separator. You want copy a pi delimiter, you can call this function and put a delimiter like this. Okay. If you want it to be a CSV file, you can put like this. Okay. We have predefined functions which will be really.
How do I do for like a line gap, like a separate next line? Switch to the next line.
Switch to the next line you're saying. I'll tell you. Yeah. So in XTT functions you're saying.
Yeah.
So in XTT, right, we have 3 functions called record, detail, and header, record, and footer. Okay. See, this is trailer is the one. Under trailer, we can get the footer records. See, we have 3 if using XTT, right? This, can you see this data file?
Yeah.
So we have to define a data record, and inside this we'll have the data. Okay. This is the separator for XTT separator for new line.
Okay.
Okay. So again, as the separator, we have a function called separator itself. So for anything, it's going to be pi delimiter or it's going to be a new line. You can define with a function here itself. Okay.
Okay.
See, for this, why was like, no, for this one, it will have a separator. This is space, I think. This is space or new space or anything.
X and A is a new line.
See, this is space, and this is new line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we can have it like same thing. You can have it like this. And see, for alignment also we have it. I'm not using it here for right alignment, left alignment, and all, right. You see, for date format, again XTD date time format. We have functions like this. Okay. So a lot of predefined increment and XTT number. If you get number is like, no, we can get the count of it. Okay. So these things are really useful functions. We have a lot of XTT functions available. That will be, you can get it from community. Okay. We have a lot of XTT functions in community available. You can try using that. So we cannot use this XTT functions in XSLT attachment transformation. We can use only XSLT. The name itself says that create XSLT attachment transformation. So we can use only XSLT functions, not XTT. If you want to use XTT and ETV, we have to use document transformation. Okay.
Yes.
This document transformation itself as an XTT and ETV engine, which can analyze, which can like process and give you the results. Okay. That is why we have the different separate concept of document transformation. How do we create a document transformation? We'll see that now.
Yeah.
You have to again create an integration system.
Template.
Yeah. I'll make it INT DT. Document transformation. Okay. See, it throws error. It's like you have to create the, it's by default you have to attach a, what is that? Service. Okay. So I'll attach the old XSLT itself. It'll throw error, but I'm showing that's how to add it. Okay. You can try writing your XSLT. Okay. You want me to show how to write again, or you can write on your own?
No, I can write on my own. I have the video of yesterday also. I'll go through it.
You go through it, okay? If you want, I can share some XCT functions if you want it.
Yeah,
okay.
If you share it on the discussion board, I'll refer it.
Okay, yeah. So integration attachment service, configure integration attachment service. So before that, you have to create it. Either you can create from here as well, or you can go to the task, create integration service attachment. This is a task to create it. Go here, drag and drop a XSLT output file. I'll put the yesterday's one. It will throw error, obviously. Okay, I'm just trying to, just for the sake of adding it, I'm just adding it. Okay. So once your document transformation is ready, you have created your XSLT and it is tested by using a editor and it is ready. Okay.
Yes.
Next is go to your original integration. Which is ours.
The INT02 co-connect.
This one, right? One co-connect. Yeah, this one. So what you have to do is like, first you have to create a business process. Okay. business process, create copy or link definition. It is as it is. Okay. Okay. We have to specify your, after this step, after this file integration, you have to add your step. B step is there already. You have to add a C step. Okay. After this integration is being added, you want to call your, we have to call our integration, one more integration call. Okay. We have to call our integration. It throws it because we have to configure our integration service. Which is the integration? IT DT Shushma. We have to call an integration here. Okay. See what this definition will say like here, right? So once this initiator, the particular integration will be firing it up. After this integration is fired, you'll get an XML. That XML will be going to this input, going to this integration as input, and it will transform it and it'll give you. Okay. Now I want to configure that after this file is been transformed, I want to get the file delivered to me SFTP. How do we do that in here? Okay. Go to the business process, edit definition. Okay. Configure a delivery service here. After C step, I will have a D step. It should be service, delivery service, right? Service, configure, document delivery. Okay. So once you do this, you click OK, it will throw an error again. You have to configure a delivery service. Configure delivery service. Okay. So from this integration process, like where you want to, like, or from specific integration step. So the DT should be, this is your step, right? Where this, like you have to deliver your output, right? So you can specify the integration step, and then, or from this integration process step, anything like from this integration process, or you want to specify step. Why this is asking for specific step, right? You may have multiple DTs also, right? So you want to specific step, you can do those things as well. Okay. And you wanted to export delivery settings, what are you wanted to have, you want to transport, right? So you can use your transport type SFTP or whatever, like they are using FTP or FTP, whatever the delivery service they are using, you can specify it with them. Okay. So you want this delivery service restricted to production, you can restrict to the environment. Okay. Hey, are you aware about okay, are you aware about migration methods?
Yeah, I did do it, like, in my previous, but I don't remember now. We migrate from one tenant to another tenant.
You know how to do that? What are the methods are there?
I don't remember though.
Okay. So tell me, you want to go for that, or you want to start with PG?
Like a quick revision would help.
Okay, I'll just take 5 minutes and then I'll give you a brief description about. See, PG, I'm not going to create and show you because I'm just going to tell you with respect to interview only. Okay. Because it's not grid enabled tenant, we cannot create a PG in this tenant. Okay. Just a theory class of PG and pickoff, not a hands-on. Okay. Let me talk about migration first. Then, what are the tenants are available first in Workday now?
Implementation, gold, sandbox, production.
How frequently sandbox get refreshed?
But I don't know.
They'll ask it, right? See, we have, first I would have started with this only. We have implementation, basic tenants implementation.
Can you also tell me the basics of this thing? I mean, I know it, but I'm like finding it hard to like remember sometimes. So the difference between the integration Workday Cloud and the Cloud Connect and the
I'll tell you.
integration
I'll
cloud.
tell you. When we go for what is the difference? I'll take two. See, that's why I planned on Sunday. So, see, we will have till Sunday, okay? So, Sunday, I'll thought of from each topic, I'll summarize what could be the difference. So, when we go for this, so it will be helpful for your memory also to remember when we ask this, what can we answer like that? Okay? Yeah, I'll take that. Let me complete the topics, whatever we committed first, then I'll come back to that. Okay? Yeah.
Okay.
So these all actually did committed, but still I want to, since you also panic about your interview, right? Just covering it up. Okay. So we have the concept of implementation, sandbox, and production is the required tenant. Okay. So some organization will have multiple implementation tenants, multiple like no, let's take X company. Okay, they may have X1, X2, X3, X4, X5 like that. They can have it. Okay, they may say X1 for developers to develop, X2 for no unit testing, user acceptance testing, and S3 like no X3 for performance testing. And then they have like no, they move to gold tenant, and then they move to sandbox, and then they move to production. Okay, can we move from implementation to prod?
Directly?
Yes.
I don't know.
No, we cannot move it. Anything to prod will go only via sandbox. You cannot get an option itself to move to from implementation to production. It will not show the option itself prod. Okay.
Okay.
It will just show only sandbox.
Okay.
Okay. PP, I'll try to show you. Well, let's discuss about it and I'll show the options. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll show it in tenant. I cannot migrate, but I'll show in tenant the screens. Okay.
Yeah.
So we cannot directly move from implementation to prod. Anything goes to prod will go via only sandbox. You can see the my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it goes via only sandbox. So sandbox every Friday night of Pacific timing. It will be depends on the data centers. We have different data centers. How do you find the data centers? Is this one? It's when we discuss about studio, I'll talk about the data centers. Okay. See W3, W35, W3. Oh, since I started, I'll just tell you. Otherwise, it will be like no, it will not be clear. Okay. See, if you see here, URL is there, right?
Yeah.
It is. Okay, 1 minute. See, W3 means it's Portland. We have Atlanta, Portland, W3, W312, W310, W3102, which indicates this. This is the data centers. These indicate the data centers. Okay. We have Workday data centers in these many places in US.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know it's a particular to US, but we have these many centers. Atlanta or Portal, it name indicates it's from US. Okay. Some might be from Europe countries also. So we just given the name as WD3. Okay. So which we'll discuss, this is the data centers. Some link will have W35, some links will have W32, W3, WD3. Okay. So it depends on the data centers, and some data centers have their own timings. Okay. So we basically we basically say like no Friday US timing, Indian Saturday morning timings. It will be refresh will be going on, which is actually Friday night of US timing.
Okay.
Okay. So where is my notepad? Okay. So this is how the goes. So many organization can have it depends upon the organization how they buy the tenants. Okay. 1, 2, and 3 they can have it, but basically they'll have 2 implementation tenant and 1 sandbox and 1 production. Okay. So 1 for doing the development, at least they'll have 1 for testing. Okay. Now coming to that, next is sandbox preview. What is a sandbox preview? What they are using it basically for? Any idea? We have one more tenant called sandbox preview.
Okay. No.
So what is a tenant? I'll tell you. See, we have a concept of release, right? R1 and R2 release. Every year's 2 release comes from Workday, right? So, so they will know first they will release the updates to sandbox preview. People like the organization, the partner companies, the customers will have the impact, will do the impact analysis on the sandbox preview, and they share their feedback. So first it gets reduced to sandbox preview to the impact analysis. Okay.
Okay.
See, for example, previously we have this all active and terminated workers. Like no, see, terminated something like it sounds hard, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So they changed to, I don't, this tenant is not updated, but they are in certain organizations, certain tenants, right? They are changed to all active and separated employees. Because it doesn't mean like terminated. It's separated means it may be voluntary, involuntary also.
Yeah.
Okay. So they changed certain data source namings, not the data source thing, just the naming they updated it. Okay. So it comes to this. The gold tenant also, it's not mandatory tenant. It depends upon the client to purchase on it. Okay. And we also have a concept of customer central. What is this customer central is? It has a predefined integrations, predefined dashboards, predefined certain things. Then you can use them as a base and you can do some and you can customize it. Okay. So it has some like kind of structure you have it where you can deploy to a tenant and you can use as a base and you can try to build from there. Okay. So these are the tenant types we have it. Okay. Now coming to the migration methods. Okay. Coming to the migration methods, we have first in Workday came with solution. Okay. Create solution and you will migrate it. Right. So what the solution use? Solution uses Workday ID. You know what is Workday IDs, right?
Yes.
Okay. So solution uses Workday ID and it takes its performance is not good. So they came up with object transporter, OX. We call them as OX.
Yes.
So what the difference between object transporter and solution? Object transporter use reference IDs, whereas solution uses Workday ID. So which will be better in performance?
Reference ID.
Yes. See, Workday ID is something like it's an alphanumeric text. It may be looks like a random number, right? Whereas reference IDs, we can even maintain our own reference IDs, but Workday IDs, we cannot maintain. It's Workday generated one. Right?
Yeah.
So OX uses reference IDs and it is now we have this object transporter. Okay. See, object transporter is as a bulk, you can, as like, no, not a bulk. So if you're choosing one calculated field, migrate, other calculated field, migrate. See, suppose I want to migrate 10 calculated fields at a time.
Okay.
How we can do that? Is it possible?
Yeah.
How?
I've not used Ox though, but I don't know.
Okay, I'll tell you. There one more task. First, let me show this screen and then I will tell you. Okay, I want to migrate this integration. Let's migrate an integration. We'll try to migrate our integration only.
Okay.
Okay. So this is our integration. We created it, right? Okay. Action. Hope this people has migration administrator access. We have solution. Okay, let me show you solution. Solution means using solution means you have to go to solution, create. It's actually they are not, Workday is not recommending to use solution nowadays. Okay, but we have this option. So we have this. This is the one we are going to migrate. Okay, you want to save and migrate. You can save and publish, or you can save and you want to save and migrate to it. You can save and click on migrate. What to save? It's a sign into a non-preview tenant. This tenant is like, no, it's a preview tenant, right? See, we cannot do that. It's a preview tenant. Okay. So we cannot do a migration on it. That's why it's not showing transport right thing. Okay. So we also, you are maybe aware of GMS tenant also, right? What is a GMS tenant also? It's a practice tenant, right? Let me try the report. I don't know if it's showing me the option or not, but let me check. It should show. If it's not showing, then this tenant is not. Yeah, we'll get an instance. We'll get an option of instance and migrate, but we're not getting it here. Okay. But usually we get one more option called instance and it will show migrate. So if you click on migrate, you will get a aux transporter. You'll get one more page called object transporter. Click on that, it'll ask like, no, how to try and migrate it. Okay. See, let's see, but I try to understand these things. Okay. What are the methods they ask? Say solution, object transporter, solution use Workday ID, and object transporter use reference IDs. And also we have one more concept of create configuration package. I don't know if we have access to it, but let's just check. No, it's not there, but in real time we have a configuration package. So for example, we want to calculate 10 custom reports. You want to calculate 10 what can I say, 10 calculate fields at a time. We will use configuration package concept. Okay.
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah. So I'll repeat it here. See, we have a concept of configuration package. Okay. Where you can migrate as a bulk. Okay. Like no, you want to calculate, you want to migrate 10 custom reports, you want to migrate, sorry, you want to migrate 10 custom reports, you can use. So if there's been an option to like no type config type, like no an option will be there. I don't remember the name of that option. Types or something will be there. Okay. You have to choose that particular thing. Things to migrate or something will be there. Give me one maybe I'll okay, maybe I'll take a photo of it and snip it and send it to you in the paste in LMS. Okay.
Okay.
You can have a look on it. Difference of all the 3 pages I'll create and show you. I'll take a from my tenant, I'll take a photo, I'll take a mobile photo and I'll send it to you. Okay. Because if we have GDPR issues, I cannot share my official thing. Okay, that's why. As you know it, right? It's not thing.
Yeah.
Okay. This all the migration methods we have it.
Okay.
These 3 things. You can also use iLoads, but not with respect to reports and all. It's good to migrate. Okay.
I have used iLoads in my previous things.
You used it.
Yeah.
For loading the data, right? For data and all those stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We cannot as only implementers can do iLoads. We cannot do it. Customers we cannot be do can like no this tenant will not be able to do it. Even though we have access to tenant, we can see our integration we can do, but iLoads we need IMPL access, right?
Yes.
So we cannot do that. So apart from that, we can perform these 3 actions. If you want to do again, you can use EIB inbox for other actions as loading it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you like now. I'll take other 5 minutes because I'm already out. Okay. Okay. So give a description of what it is. Okay. PG and pick off. What's the basic difference? I'll cover it up. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is abbreviation of PG? So PG is payroll effective change interface. Okay. Kickoff is payroll output. You can feel the difference here. Like you see the difference here itself. This is the payroll effective change interface. Kickoff is payroll output common output file. Okay. So what is the difference? See, PG works on a data initiation service, whereas Pickoff works on get paying web service. Okay, it does not use a web service; it uses data initiation service, which is the inbuilt engine built by Workday for PG. Okay, that's the first difference. Second difference is, as I already told, Pickoff returns only top of stack, whereas PG returns effective data transactions in a sequence. As you know, in a sequence, like what are the as per the effective dates, what are the sequence it will display. Okay. So changes deducted based on data change compensation events tracked by this only like no with respect to data change and only events tracked by transaction logs. Whereas it tracks all the worker data. So if you have any change in home email address or anything with respect to worker data, it will track it. Okay, that's a major difference. And payroll related events, like no, we have in the output file is like no, see in with respect to PG, like to any co-content worker in PG, right? We have each sections. We have like staffing events. Higher means it will be HIR. Do I have this in my PPT? Hmm. Yes. See, it will be like this. It is like if it's going to be higher event, it will be mentioned as HIR. If it is termination, we write as TRM. If it is termination resign, it will be TR term R. It will be like each event will be tracked by this event code. Okay. Okay, because in PG output file, I have one sample, like someone code from I do add it in the PPT. Yeah, see, this is one thing. So, see, is updated, which means like under personal information for this employee is updated. So this is one of the transaction type. We have this thing, but I don't that particular event type. I didn't have it here, but I'll try to send one PG XML file to you. Okay. So we have this. This is with respect to see, for example, if promotion has happened, obviously there will be some changes in compensation, right? If any change in address, something like no, if an employee is getting any information with respect to employee, you want to mail it. Okay. So if you're using third-party vendor and third-party vendor wants to send some address to you with respect to compensation, you need your address. It's all related to payroll. Hire, if you any employees hire as initiator, they'll come into the payroll. So that time there'll also be payroll related, even if it will be tracked. Transfer, if you move from one place to other, if you move from India to China, there'll be change in compensation. If an employee is going on leave of absence, there will be change in compensation. He may be going on loss of pay or he may be maternity leave. So it like possible to stop in payment, or if they like going on, they're extending the maternity leave. You have to stop the payment. So possible to stop in the payment. The infant election is like if you're choosing for any benefits, there will be changes in deductions and earnings. Okay. So that's related to something related to payroll have taken this transactions. Okay. This is all the payroll related events which will have been impacting the payrolls. Okay. So we have a checklist before we start any PG integration. This is a checklist which we need to check in the tenant. Okay. See payroll interface countries. So where do we check this? Make this checklist is like we have a tenant setup. Edit tenant setup payroll. Let me go to the tenant. If I have access to see that. See, for example, you're going to use the payroll for you're doing to let's say for UK, okay, or UK or Canada, or it's going to be France, Germany, anything it could be. You have to make sure your this checklist is ready, okay, like before you start. See, one major difference I forgot to tell you is PG can be created in all the tenants. What is basic required to create a PG integration? How the tenant should be. See, it should be grid enabled tenant. So to enable the tenant as grid, we have to request to Workday. Workday will make it as grid enabled. Until we enable the tenant is grid enabled, we cannot create a PG integration. I'll create and show you. Okay, don't worry.
Okay.
What error it throws, we will see.
Okay.
See, edit payroll, edit tenants at a payroll. We have to specify the countries. Okay, to which country the payroll should be available. Okay, right, third party payrolls. Let's quote this document. It's been a long time setting up this. See, this is a function, this is a delivered, like, no, this is a certification document only. I do accept it, okay? See how I want to show you the setup. Since I cannot create it here, at least I'll show here at least the steps. You can know it.
If you can, I mean, if it's okay to share it, I will look at the events and create it on my own.
Okay. I think this is a document. 1 minute, let me take it from my thing. I'll just take the other document, the functional config document. That's my hard drive. I'll just take it. Give me a minute. Okay. Now I'll share it. Same document, I just into a different page. Can you see it now? I went to payroll. It's like, no, see, can you see it here? Yeah. First is the tenant setup. You have to go to edit tenant setup HCM. See, basically, we don't do the setup. It's like, no, the functional guys do it. Like, no, they do the settings. Okay, but we have to cross verify it. Okay. It's a checklist. Before we start any PG integration, this is a checklist that we have to make sure are all in place to start a PG integration. That's why we have to make a checklist. As your checklist is info, right? So you have to go to edit. So edit tenant setup HCM and confirm that whichever country you're going to choose it, it is chosen the countries for payroll interface. We went to a different task. See, under payroll interface, the supported countries, which country, for example, you're doing a payroll for Australia, you're choosing a payroll for France, you can choose it from, you have to choose from here. Okay. You have to choose, then only why I'll show what is the option. I'll show it up. Okay. First, you have to make the setup is ready. First step. Okay. Second step is the period schedules. So as you know, every payroll will have a periods, right? What is your periods, right? So you have to create a run cat, like, no, make sure your periods are covered. Check and make sure period schedule for weekly, Monday to Sunday covers the pay periods for the week. So that it's an exam, right? So they make sure it is ready. They're having weekly payment. We can also have monthly payment as well. Okay. So also you have to create so every integration, every payroll will have a pay groups, right? So you should have a pay groups. Okay. So make your pay groups ready, and you have a payroll company. For which company you have to do a payroll? For example, for India, a company will be there, but we have under company will have multiple companies, right? Companies, right? With US, India, UK, France, but the company will be one, right? For which company you have to make the payroll, you have to create a company payroll as well. Payroll company you have to create it. Okay, and then see, create a payroll company name. This one they're asking to create a payroll company. Okay, and then they start asking to hire them. You can try it actually. Okay. And payment election rules, you have to set your payment election rules. What is payroll earnings and deduction? This is all with respect to payroll setups. What is this external payroll earnings? Yes. See, for example, in your organization, you're joining it, you're going to earn a relocation allowance. Okay. When you join an organization, they are going to give you a bonus payment. You're going to give an allowance plan. All these are earnings. Okay.
Yes.
These earnings will have I'll try to show it. I faced one real-time scenario here. That's why I wanted to show you. Okay. Maintain external payroll earnings. Okay. See, we have earnings and deductions. Okay, under earnings, right? What is the pay group you have to choose? For which pay group you're going to maintain these earnings? Okay, I'll just choose once. See, under this you have to maintain what is the name, what is the code, what is the external payroll code. You're going to have it. Okay, that's the compensation plan. You have to maintain it here. Compensation element is there, right? under this, what is the plan? What is allowance plan? What for which plan you're making this earnings? Okay, you have to choose it here and maintain it here. Until you maintain it here, your PG will not pick up. For example, an employee is hired and after a month you're giving some allowance to him and PG is not picking up in the payroll, which means like this is not maintained in the earnings. Okay.
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 Yeah.
So as a vice versa, any deductions, employee is getting terminated and he's going when he's getting terminated, he has to deduct some values. Okay. In that case, any deductions might be like how could I say any deductions like
Say,
extra payment has been made by unknowingly. You tell me.
like a paid leave.
Also. So you can order deductions you want to make it. You have to maintain a code for it. That the code is a compensation element. Right? You want to have it, you can make it. What is a real-time scenario I faced is like we have made a one-time payment plan, okay, for an employee.
Mm-hmm.
It's a change in one-time payment, but the teacher was not picking it up. Okay. Then we realized like we didn't add that particular one-time payment plan in the external earnings and it was not picking it up. So later we realized that it was due to this task. Okay. So whenever we start the PG integrations, we make sure all these checklists are ready. See, for example, employee is going on maternity leave and she's extending it. If the leave type is not maintained, we cannot stop the payments, right? So it is important to maintain the leave types as well.
Mm.
So this is actually the main framework. We'll have a payroll company. Under payroll company, we'll have a pay groups. Under pay groups, we'll have workers as well as the run category. And inside the run category, we'll have a period schedules. Okay.
Okay.
This is how it looks, the hierarchy is. This is actually the framework of the payroll. Okay. As I already mentioned, PG integration can run only on a tenant that is grid enabled. Okay. Adding a grid to a tenant means that a different environmental configuration is provided for a specific tenant to make larger payroll calculations run more quickly. It is with respect to work. They make the enablement. We cannot do it. Okay, it costs. See why everybody is not going for PG is like somebody still uses pickoff because pickoff doesn't need any payment to make it as grid enabled. But if you want to make the tenant as grid enabled, you have to pay some extra cost to Workday and then they will enable it.
Okay.
So as I told in attributes, so yeah, from here, like
payroll sections can only be configured through PG, right?
What is that?
So, I mean, is it not like, I mean, there is no restrictions as such, right? So there's nothing like, okay, the payroll related whatever information that we need to get it, say, a change in payroll or anything that can only be done through PG.
Even because does, as I told at the initial itself, only top of stack will be coming it up.
Yeah. So say suppose if an organization doesn't want, they can't enable the grid.
They go for external payroll. If they're not maintaining, when they don't want to send anything, if they are not maintaining any compensation in Workday, they will use third-party payroll. They'll go to ADP directly, not sending a file to ADP. They'll directly go and have the payroll on the ADP side or any external payroll. It may be XY company. We have a lot of payroll companies, right? They will provide the payrolls.
Yeah.
Okay. So as I already said, it detects based on data change comparison and tracks the transaction log, but doesn't use that. It repeats all the affected transactions, whatever happens changes in the worker level also. Okay, so that's a major difference. Yeah, but tomorrow I'll continue this. First 10 or 15 minutes, I'll talk about the attributes and what is the launch parameters, all this. I'll talk about this primary and ad hoc run. Okay. Launch parameters also it's important. We will talk about this launch parameter tomorrow. Okay.
So if you have time and if you can upload the document, I will also perform one integration, PC integration in the tenant, so that way I can grasp it faster tomorrow.
I think you cannot create a PG integration. I'll tell you why. I can share it, okay? It's not problem in sharing it with you, but I'll tell you. Like you cannot create it actually. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
What is error throws? I'll show it first.
Oh,
So the template name is payroll effective change interface. Okay. Okay. This is Peachy. I'm just clicking OK. Just giving OK.
okay.
That your tenant is not enabled to run a data and messaging service that uses effective changes, which means like it is not enabled as grid.
Okay.
Okay, so it will not allow you to create it actually. Even though you try to enable, this error will still be there.
Yeah. I think I created in the other tenant that, like, I told you, right? There was like this shared tenant access that I had.
Yeah, I know. From community, we have this shared tenant,
Yeah.
shared GMS. Yeah.
Through that I created one, I guess. So,
Okay.
no.
So you can try doing it. I'll share it to Shiva and we'll try to upload it. I'll also check with them how do you share it and I'll try to share it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Shishma, we'll end for today and we'll see you complete from tomorrow. So we are just like payroll, kickoff and peachy and studio, right?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, Shishma. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.